Good night, afternoon. I am up, and it is like 10 o'clock. I slept in on purpose because I wanted to stay up to do computer stuff all night. Which, checking the mail, which I already knew nothing was going to be in there, just have it. And it fucking feels amazing out, and there's a raccoon eating the cat food. Yeah, I'm excited right now. Super excited. That wind is blowing pretty good. You can smell the storm. You can smell it. It doesn't smell like from around here. It smells like from a different state. You can smell the freshness in the air. It's not Michigan. It's definitely you can tell that the storm did some damage. You can smell the damage in the air, you know? And it's moving too, it's whipping. It's still whipping pretty good. Not bad. I'm sure it's not whipping past the microphone. Usually you can hear it when it's that bad. But it's still blowing. I mean, you can see the trees, they're rustling. Slowly, but they're moving still. There's the moon. There she is. Blows my mind people worship the moon. It doesn't make any sense to me why you would worship the moon. If you use your brain and you look at all the different stars, all the different planets, it's obvious that we didn't come from that moon. You know what I mean? There's so much out there. And here's the reason why I'm trying to get down there too. Let me let this plane pass. You can't see above the clouds. They usually fly above the clouds anyways. Which is, if I remember correctly, I think it's up. Most planes fly above 10,000 feet. If I remember correctly, I'm probably wrong on that, but I should be studying that. I should know that. There's my cat. I know you guys ain't seen any light because it's dark out. So, we got light in my room, in my house, which I'm about to get going. I literally just woke up. I didn't take a shower, nothing. I just put on a hoodie. I put on my thermal pants, my Sport Tech shorts, my Hurley shirt. I grabbed my Nike hoodie and threw on Mago's Converse hat. I'm about to rock it out tonight, man, all night. I'm pulling an all-nighter. That's why I slept. I gotta study all night. It's my favorite time to study. It's the only time I can really get deep thinking in, you know? Which, I'm about to go get this coffee. I want to go shoot that. That's what I want to do. I'm thinking about racking that bitch off tonight. Piss all the neighbors off. They fucking do it all the time anyway. It's fucking right down here, down the street, right around the block. Them bitches are going off all day long, all night. Bah, bah, bah. All day long, especially during July 4th. Them motherfuckers be racking them off. Bah, 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 bah. They ain't playing over there. They bust them off just to let everybody know fucking they got them. You think I'm joking? I'm not lying. They bust some bitches off just to let the neighborhood know, everybody in the neighborhood know that don't come down this block. You're gonna get chopped. How did they do it around here? You go, all you gotta do is walk a couple blocks over. They're walking up and down the street in full fucking body vest. full fucking vests, all down, full fucking choppers, fucking. I mean, you can't even walk down the street unless you're holding the gun like this. And it's legal. They own it. It's legal. It's in their name. They're walking down the street. That's how they are over there. Listen, Detroit polices Detroit. The police don't police Detroit. The Detroit police are there just for looks. Just to make the city look good. Those police ain't patrolling nothing. They know they ain't patrolling nothing. Sure, I can go on YouTube right now and show you a documentary on Detroit. The cops are scared. They know better. Shit, when I fucking got my shirt got broken into, when I called the police, when they kept on fucking breaking in the store, I finally had enough. I got tired of being shot at and shooting at people. I called and fucking, they drove by my store twice before they even came in. I watched them go, boop, turn around, do a U-turn, go back, do a U-turn, come back, do another U-turn with the spotlight shining on the building, and then pull in front of the house. I mean, in front of my building where it was my house, it was my business in-house. I lived in the building, was running the business, couldn't afford a house and a business at the same time. Well, I could have, but I had a habit. I had a bad one. And it was easier for me to be in a building and be away from people. It was easier for me to be in that building and move. It was less suspicious type shit, you know. No one ever seen me. I was working, man. I was working for myself and for some other people, which thankfully are dead. They're not around no more. So I don't gotta worry about them anyways. People, man, they're fucking, listen, man, people are fucked up. People are fucked up, man. People get put in positions that they never knew. They get conned into these things, man. I've done things where, don't tell me, just, I'm here for the money. I don't want to know. This is how I know Minute Maid, they probably had Minute Maid. CVS will probably have Minute Maid because I know Minute Maid is a Coca-Cola company. And I mentioned that, I told you guys that I knew that they would probably have Minute Maid at CVS or Rite Aid because of Coca-Cola. Which I didn't mention Coca-Cola, but I'm telling you why. When you travel around the world, Dasani waters, I mentioned in many videos, Dasani water is going to be your go-to water for bottled water, especially in places like Mexico and a few other places that don't have, tap water, which I wouldn't even trust the tap water anyways in those countries. They don't have these type of facilities as the United States do, which is another thing that I'm going to be making videos on, the water purity and stuff, around our world, it's bad. The governments aren't speaking up enough about what is actually happening. They're too worried about politics and everything else, instead of worrying about what is really happening. Our treatment plants, our water sewage treatment plants aren't effective. They're not. I've been doing the studies. There's one in Norwegian and basically in Switzerland area. They're the number one facility when it comes to water treatment plants. And I've been studying their water and stuff, and I've been studying our water over here. Their water, the way they treat their water and the way they run their system is completely different than ours. And they're able to basically clean out this water at a rate way faster than we ever can, and the water's coming out a lot better, way clearer, way cleaner, without all these extra stuff in it, which they have been doing the tests, which I'll be making. I've mentioned it before. I gotta start. It's. Once I start posting this stuff, I don't want to create problems and confusion for people, and people. I'm not trying to create stress for people and get people worried, like freaking out, because that's not the issue. That's not. If I do that, that's not going to help anything. That's not what I'm trying to do, causing problems. I'm trying to make this aware. I'm trying to make people aware of what's really happening so that people can take action, and start changing their habits, not only to help themselves but to help the community. Because it blows my mind. It's crazy to think that this is really happening, that all these women are taking all this birth control, and it's. I believe a woman should be able to take birth control as far as a right to her own body. But I also know that if this woman takes birth control, not only is she fucking up her body hormonally, like with her hormones, she's playing with her hormones. She's fucking up her body. Your body is supposed to do that stuff, naturally. You're playing God. You're playing, you're messing with your body, and then that person wonders why they're fucked up. They don't feel good, or they're having mental problems. Because they're playing with chemicals that level out their body, that balance their brain out. The women are supposed to have that. That's how God created them. Then you get to that moral point where, like, okay, so what, do you not let the women take birth control? I mean, a woman should be able to do whatever she wants to her body, in a sense, you know what I mean? As far as what's right, you know what I mean, what's wrong, what moral conscience, what's not moral conscience, whatever, it's not moral. But when it becomes a problem where, these women, you got 90% of the population taking birth control, and they're all using the toilet, and these water treatment systems aren't processing the sewage correctly because people are fucking lazy, and all this birth control is getting released back out into our ecosystem, back out into the rivers and lakes that are fish, you know what I mean, and all these animals that we take for granted, are being affected by these hormones, by these chemicals, and these fish. They're doing the studies. They're saying that the fish are hermaphroditing in the Mississippi River. Like, what? Like, how's that happening? Like, why is that happening? Like, why are we allowing that to happen? And it's saying that, I'm reading all this stuff that these universities are finding out, that the fish, our fish population is dying, And then we have all these invasive species coming from other countries, which is, it's natural order, I guess you would think of natural order ecosystem, but you got to remember that, these animals were, a lot of these animals, right, they developed, God created them in that area for a reason. They weren't meant to be brought over on this side of the world. You get what I'm saying? And all these vessels that are crossing back and forth, all the selfish stuff that's going on, people taking animals for no reason, and bringing them into other countries, spreading diseases and stuff. There's so much of this stuff going on that it's creating problems. And The number one problem really is pollution. It's overfishing, pollution, and global warming. Those are the three major issues. And then you got everything on top of everything else, you know. That's why I know like if you read the Bible, you clearly read the Bible. The Bible says in the end times that all the water in the world is going to be contaminated, that we won't even be able to drink from the water from the earth. That's what it says. It clearly says that. It says that the water will run red like blood. Which, if you look at fucking a satellite image, right, of the Nile River, not the Nile, but I mean the Indian River where it goes through India, you look at the actual river, it's colored red. It's got dye going from it because India is the number one producer of clothes in the world. They're the number one. They dye all of our clothes, even though they come from China. Most of our clothes say they come from China and Taiwan and all that. Most of our clothes get dyed in India. They do. And all these plants are dyeing these clothes. You know, you got all this fabric, right? That India's providing 90% of the fabric going to all over the world, right? And they gotta dye it with color, because we like color. And all this dye is getting dumped into the river. All the old dye is getting dumped into our ecosystem. And the country is not regulating it. India is not regulating it. They got over 1 billion people. They can barely regulate themselves, let alone regulate the factories, you know what I mean, that are doing all this fucking slave work for pennies on a dollar and shipping all the stuff to all these bigger countries like United States and China, and you know what I mean? Don't think China's just as bad as us. You think that they're not consuming stuff? You gotta remember, they're people too. Not only are they producing it, they're consuming it. That's why they stopped bringing in all that trash. They stopped bringing in all that plastic, because they were bringing it in, producing plastic toys and stuff, but so much of it was getting brought in, shredded material, it was getting dumped into the land. If you go in China in a lot of rural areas, you're gonna see nothing but garbage. I mean, I'm talking forests. Forests have been overcome by garbage. They had such a bad problem in China that their bikes, you know how we have all these scooters these little smart scooters and these smart bikes that we're just now getting into it? China already did that 15 years ago, 10 years ago. We're just now getting into it because of easy transportation. Well, because China is a communist country, right? And because they're not allowed, a basic citizen is not allowed to invest outside of the country. They can only invest within the country. All these people are buying all these. They made like over 100 million different bike companies that rented out these bikes because that was a way for them to make money, right, within their own country. And it became a problem. Everyone was doing it. They made so many bikes that nobody was riding them. They were building, they were overproducing them. They were overproducing them, and they were just dropping them off on the streets, competing with each other, different colors, bikes and stuff. And it got to a problem where they were just stacking up. There's mountains of them. Then people were scrapping them. People got tired of them. They'd walk outside of the house. They'd see fucking 50 bikes. So they started taking them to the scrapyard. The scrapyard wouldn't take them. So because they're stolen. They're not theirs. They're the company's. So they wouldn't take them. So what happened? If you can Google images shit. There's fields and fields, like junkyards that we have, like how Americans, United States, America has junkyards of cars. They have junkyards of fucking those fucking bikes that you use with your phone unlock. They have, I'm talking miles and miles and miles, and they're piled up higher than my house. It's insane. That just tells you how much, how it's bad. Our world is bad when it comes to pollution. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Which I need to take this hoodie off because I'm starting to sweat from this caffeine and me talking. That's down. Coffee for backup. Which I actually fucking Bill, crazy ass, come down the other day. Come to my house and had, fuck is it? Oh, I dropped it. Bill wants to shoot the gun, the 12 gauge, without shooting it, and he had the bright idea to take a shell, take everything out of the shell, just leave the primer in there. I'm thinking about fucking shooting it off. See if it fucking blows a fucking flame out the muzzle. It's a Remington 12 gauge. It's a little rusty. He had it for a little while. It's called a Light 8. I'm assuming it doesn't have much weight to it. I didn't ask him what was in there. I'm assuming buckshot. I don't know though. We'd have to look it up. It says Light 8, so it might have been 8 discs. Like 8 little tiny discs in there. Boom, 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 and they were light. That's probably what it meant. There were probably 8 little slugs in there or something. Yeah, no, baby. I'll get you some food. She is whining. She likes this beef stuff, man. It's weird. She didn't like it at first, but she was also not feeling good either, so. Oh, this shit stinks, man. I don't know how cats do this, man. Like, how do they find this stuff appetizing? I can't. Ugh. Oh my god. Here, take that. Get that on my face. Please. I gotta go blow my nose and get away from that smell. Ugh. Hold on a second, I gotta do this. We're about to smoke and start doing shit. Sorry about that, I had to piss real quick too. About ready to smoke. She's a little warm, but that's fine with me. Alright, this can go here for now. I gotta turn this puppy on. That's right. I gotta start getting used to this shit, man. Which, that stuff's only hooked up temporarily. I gotta basically get stuff kind of pre-configured in a sense. Lock says, turn on work desk.
Work desk isn't responding.
Of course not. I'm telling you, man, I gotta find a better system. If it's gonna constantly do this, it's junk, right? Why did I buy it if it's not gonna work? I don't want this one on, I don't think. Because it blinds me, kinda. It blinds me from seeing outside. That's what bothers me. I don't like not being able to see out there. Just one that's gotta open. That's the one with the screen. Fucking my dad. Ghetto as fuck, man, right? The screen started coming out right here. Right? So instead of fixing the screen, buying the stuff that goes in there, he fucking duct tapes it. And puts fucking 4 big strips around the screen right on the house, on the front of the house. So when people drive by, right, they see my house, they just see duct tape fucking around the window. Like, come on, man. I was like, why did you do that? Because it was broken. Why'd you put duct tape on it? Because it didn't have anything else to fix it. Why didn't you just take the screen down? I don't know. And then he ruined the screen because when you pull the duct tape down, all that fucking sticky shit is all fucking stuck on the screen. So I'd have to sit there and scrape it all off, which would take fucking 3-4 hours just to do that. Fuck that. I just threw the screen. Fucking stupid, man. Then he got upset for me. Why'd you throw out the screen? Now I gotta replace it. You ain't gotta replace shit, bitch. You ain't gonna fucking replace anything. Look what the fuck you just did. You just fucking ran off and left me here. And you're talking about, now I gotta replace the screen? The fuck out of here, man. I'm so sick of people, dude. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, you don't want me to be on one. You don't. You do not want me to be on one. I think I have everything I need. Can't tell which one's on and off. Alright, we're good. That can go off. I need to take this hoodie off. That's what I need to do. Just start thinking in a minute. I need to smoke before I do anything. Let me just slam the door. Right. Let's see. We gotta log in real quick. It's weird typing with one hand, holding the camera. It's fucking odd. I typed that in wrong. I knew it. I probably typed it in wrong again. I bet you any money I did. See, I told you. I just woke up. I don't fucking... Oh, that's why. It would help if I spelled my fucking name right. I'm sitting here fucking typing in the password like, what the fuck, dude? There we go. I'm just trying to open the fucking desktop. Log in real quick. There you go. That only took 5 minutes. Fuck, man. I'm telling you, I gotta smoke. Which I have this little fucking joint rolled. It got wet on my way to the CVS though. Let's try it now. We don't have that much. All I got is this and this. Enough to get me through the night. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. That lady never came for the fucking Geo seats, so. Thankfully that guy came. I have fucking food. Food for the least next 2 days, so I ain't gotta worry about food in the morning at least. That gets frustrating, man, lately. Fucking not having food in the morning. I can't stand that shit. There's nothing here though, man. Like I'm gotta get this fucking truck running and get out of here. There's nothing here around here for me. I'm just I don't have no motivation around this area no more. I've burnt out on this area. I have no motivation to get a job around here or help anybody out around here really. I want to get south. I would like to pick up Margarita, but I gotta wait for her to get her contract done. So I might be ending up south and going to get the boat. That way the boat's ready when she does get off. I can just have her meet me down there. Or pick her up. Fly her down there. Whatever I gotta do. I gotta smoke it. You gotta give me a few minutes before we start getting into this. My cat's on my foot. She does this. She does this thing on my shoe. Of course, when I show you guys, she don't want to do it. But what she'll do is she'll fall asleep on my shoe. Only in these shoes, for some reason, these Adidas that are laceless. She'll climb on it and she'll dig her claws into it and she'll chew on the bill, which I don't like her doing it, but I know she's teething, so I'd rather her do that and get something out of it. Yeah, I can't have you chew. Oh yeah, you can chew that. I don't care. I thought she had Margarita's hat, which I have it on my head. That's funny. She has my face mask. These fucking masks. These masks are nice. You gotta get one of these, man. They got this protector right here, but it's like got mesh. I'll show you guys. Go rob a bank, you know. They're perfect, dude, for robbing banks. Serious. I don't rob banks. I only rob people. I don't do that no more. But yeah, boom. These things are awesome. They work good. They keep the wind down and stuff like that. Protect your head. You can taste that. I don't know. It tastes weird. Almost tastes like the blunt, which is weird because I haven't smoked any blunts. No, it's gross. I just burped and it tasted sour. It's not good. Hopefully I don't throw up. So I took my medication today. That fucking stomach medication. Put that in there. I'm rolling up this last bud. That just kind of pissed me off. That didn't get me there. Which I have a feeling I'm gonna pack a bowl instead. So I think I got some in here. There we go. That's a lot better. I feel a little nauseous tonight. It's not good. Not good at all. I might have to use the bathroom. That's probably what it is. Still have bathroom issues a little bit. They've gotten way better though. I don't get sick or violently ill like I was getting. I didn't know what was wrong with me. And I figured it out. It was the fucking medication they were giving me. They're trying to tell me it wasn't the medication. It was the medication. I stopped all that shit. I don't go to the psych no more. That medication was fucking me up. I was feeling suicidal. I was fucked up, man. Depressed, fucking overweight, fucking all different types of shit, man. Though I'm telling you, all that psych medication is evil, man. Not all of it. Some of it can be helpful. Some of it. But the ones that can be helpful, they don't want to give you anyways. They only want to give you the shit if this shit's stupid, man. Listen, this shit's stupid. I can't wait to take those fucking places down. Drugs should be legal. All drugs should be legal. I shouldn't have to go to somebody and fucking them tell me what I can and cannot take and fucking sit there and fucking use me as a guinea pig and experiment with me. And what the fuck? They don't even know what half the shit does to what this stuff is doing. If I tell this doctor I don't want something because it does something, and yet they still try to push that on me, that's not a doctor, that's a drug dealer. If I wanted drugs, I'd go get the real shit. I can get it. You know what I mean? I have it. I can't. It's just staring. I feel funny, man. Serious, I feel funny. I don't feel good at all. I hate when I get like this. Sometimes when I smoke, I get like this. It makes me nauseous, and it goes away, and I'm just like, I'm out of it, I'm not really talkative, which is odd because usually when I smoke, I get more talkative. I think it's because I'm frustrated. I got a lot on my mind. I'm overwhelmed with the family and stuff and everything that's recently happened, It hurts to have had your family not only ruin things for you, you know what I mean, and go out of their way to ruin things for you and make someone hurt that you truly love, and then make me hurt, you know what I mean, and leave me hanging. It blows my mind. And the other day I went out of my way to try to talk to someone, see someone, one of my little brothers, and it happened again. The same thing. Which I knew it was going to happen again, and I'd still put myself through it. And I keep on doing it over and over and over again, thinking that that person might change. And they never change. Ever. It's fucking me up, man. Come on, cat. I know you want to play. I know that's what she wants. She wants attention. That's why she was staring at me. She don't want me to do computer stuff. And I feel bad because she's over here staring at me. She just came over here, climbed up my leg. Because she can't climb up the leathers, she climbed up my thermals. She's smart. What? What, bro? That's what she does all day long, just chew on me. Come on. Come on. Come up here. I know that's what you want. You just want to chew. I know, baby. Come on. I know, baby. She wants to play. She wants to fight. That's what she does, man. She wants to fight it. That's what she wants to do. She wants to do this. That's what she likes to do all day. It's because of stimulation, It's her just playing with the other kitty. It's just like her playing with another cat, you know what I mean? That's what she's supposed to be doing all day with the other cats, and she don't have no one. So this is what I be doing when you guys don't see me. This is what I'm doing all day. Spending time with the cat. It's like a child. You gotta spend time with it. Which honestly, I think that's what I'm about to go do. Because my mind is so fucking... I just got really fucking upset. It's what it is. It's why I don't feel like doing anything now. Sometimes smoking does that to me. It gets me overthinking. I'll be fine in a minute once I come down. Oh, baby. She's tired. She don't feel good. I know, baby. I know, honey. I love you. I love you. I love you. Ti amo. Ti amo. She's just a baby. So I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna lay down and see what happens, man. With my cat. I might do something later. I don't know. Sometimes it happens when I smoke. I wasn't expecting that. I feel out of it. It says the man who creates God signs. It says... So this is right after Jesus, raised Lazarus from the death, and you think God, before he thanked God for raising up Lazarus before he even asked Lazarus, because he already knew, God was going to give him what he asked for. So it says, the man who creates God signs. That was a turnaround for many of the Jews who were with Mary. They seen, Lazarus be raised up, and they were with Mary. They saw what Jesus did and believed in him. But some went back to the Pharisees and told on Jesus. The high priests and the Pharisees called a meeting of the Jewish ruling body. What do we do now? They asked. This man keeps on doing things, creating God signs. If we let him go on, pretty soon everyone will be believing in him, and the Romans will come and remove what little power and privilege we still have, which they were dominated by Caesar at the time. People tend to forget that Jesus actually came back not that long ago. It was not that long ago when Jesus came back. It blows my mind if it was recent. If you look at history, history, it wasn't that long ago. That's why people say all these religions are older and stuff. Yeah, they might be older, but that's what they are. They are religion. Jesus isn't religion. Jesus was God. Blows my mind that these people are not thinking. Says then one of them, it was Caiaphas, the designated chief priest that year, spoke up. Don't you know anything? Can't you see that it's to our advantage that one man dies for the people rather than the whole nation be destroyed? He didn't say this of his own accord, but as chief priest that year, he unwittingly prophesied that Jesus was about to die sacrificially for the nation, and not only for the nation, but so that all God's exiles scattered children might be gathered together into one people. So you gotta remember, God scattered the people. God scattered the people after the Tower of Babel because we all spoke one language, and we were so you gotta remember this happened twice already. He flooded the earth already once, right? Because we were so evil with our imaginations and stuff like that, bisexual stuff and greed, envy, because of, pride, envy, Lucifer, the original liar, rebellion. Um, he, he flooded it, and then he commanded Noah to eat meat, which then, they started eating meat if we read the Torah. And then, what did they do next? The people all still spoke one language. What did they do next? We tried to build the tower to reach the heavens on the earth. The tower was so tall, it was called the Tower of Babel. And the reason why they called it the Tower of Babel, because God got frustrated. Was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, they were building this tower to try to reach God, right? But in this tower, what are they doing? Committing adultery, they're having acts of fornication on men and women and women. They're getting drunk. They're fucking, they're doing all these stupid things, stealing from each other, and all these crimes, and all this bullshit, all this sin, creating all this guilty conscience, and their mind isn't even on God. They're trying to reach God, to control, to have power. You understand? That's why they build these big temples and all these, and rule over the land. They're using God to control. They're not loving God. They don't have a relationship with God. They're stupid. But he changed everyone's language. So he changed all humans spoke one language, the Bible says. Then the Bible says, it clearly says that he changed everyone's language so that people couldn't communicate anymore. So they couldn't fucking build the fucking building out of the damn atmosphere. Kill themselves, in a sense. Because that's how stupid we are. And I fucking have a sty. I know I do. I get them all the time, and they fucking hurt. And it's because they keep on touching my eye. But that's why all the languages got fucking... That's why we have all these different languages. and he scattered the people across the world. And if you ever study and stuff like that, and you look at the great migrations of all the people, you got all these different, you had all these different people that migrated, spoke different languages, and the people, what did they do? They crossed, the Indians crossed over, supposedly over the Bering Strait, right? Came over here. That's why we have in the United States, you had all the Mayans and Indians and stuff, which is Margot's background. My fiance, she's Native American, from Mexico. She's true blood Native American, Aztec Mayan, you know what I mean? That's who she is. If you really want to be technical, if you really think about it, it's pretty significant. That's why I believe in the Bible. If you really actually think about everything that we've learned and study on the internet, and what we know today about the people and stuff. It's good. She's using her litter box. It's good. Dude, my eye hurts like a bitch, dude. I'm telling you, I have a sty. Oh, man, it hurts. Oops. I'm about to find out real quick. I think it's on the bottom one. No. I can't tell. Yeah, it's on the bottom. It's coming in. I'll be in tomorrow. Which it means my eyes gonna be fucking, the bottom eyelids gonna be puffy as fuck. And when I have to pop it, which is gonna be fucking a bunch of white pus coming out. So you guys are gonna see me with a fat eye tomorrow, most likely. It's basically like a pimple in the eyelid because of the eyelash. It gets infected. It's just making my nose run now, and my eyes fucking dripping. It hurts like a bitch, See, now that I'm coming down, I feel better. I was feeling nauseous, man. Sometimes the weed does that to me. It's weird. I need to go blow my nose now. What the fuck? I hurt. I got pissed too. Hold on. What? Fucking drank that Red Bull. Felt like I had to piss. I hate when you do that. Fuck, you feel like you have to piss and you go pee and it takes forever. So what the fuck, man? And this shit hurts like a bitch. I'm trying to dry it out real quick. So that's why it itches, because I've been touching it. And that's why it's burning and itching. So I'm trying to get this shit off of it. I gotta stop touching it. It's probably why I got it from touching my eyes. I touch my eyes a lot. Let me see if I can finish reading this instead of fucking. I'm telling you, slow motion, man. Every time I feel like this, I always think of that song, fucking Slow Motion for Me by Juvenile. Ooh, I like it like that. She working that butt. I don't know how to act. Giddy. Love you. She's sitting there, always by my feet. So, says that one of them, it was Caiaphas, a designated chief priest that year, spoke up. Don't you know anything? Can't you see that it's to our advantage that one man dies for the people rather than the whole nation be destroyed? Which, they said he prophesied. So, it says, from that day on, they plotted to kill him. So Jesus no longer went out in the public among the Jews. He withdrew into the country, bordering the desert to a town called Ephraim, and secluded himself there with his disciples. The Jewish Passover was coming up. Crowds of people were making their way from the country up to Jerusalem to get themselves ready for the feast. They were curious about Jesus. There was a lot of talk about him among those standing around in the temple. What do you think? Do you think he'll show up at the feast or not, at the Passover? Meanwhile, the high priests and Pharisees gave out the word that anyone getting wind of him should inform them. They were all set to arrest him. Says, anointing his feet, chapter 12, John. So 6 days before Passover, Jesus entered Bethany, where Lazarus, so recently raised from the dead, was living. Lazarus and his sisters invited Jesus to dinner at their home. Martha served, which was, I think, Mary's sister. Lazarus was one of, I don't know if it might have been. It might have been, I think Martha was Lazarus' sister. Yeah, that's what it was. Lazarus was one of those sitting at the table with them. Mary came in with a jar of very expensive aromatic oils, anointed and massaged Jesus' feet, and then wiped them with her hair. The fragrance of the oils filled the house. Judas Iscariot, one of his disciples, even then getting ready to betray him, said, why wasn't this oil sold and the money given to the poor? It would have easily brought 300 silver pieces. He said this not because he cared 2 cents about the poor, but because he was a thief. He was in charge of their common funds, but also embezzled them. Jesus said, let her alone. She's anticipating and honoring the day of my burial. You always have the poor with you. You don't always have me. It says, word got out among the Jews that he was back in town. The people came to take a look, not only at Jesus, but also at Lazarus, who had been raised from the dead. So the high priest plotted to kill Lazarus because so many of the Jews were going over and believing in Jesus on account of him. They were upset because they wanted the attention, These Pharisees would go out, in the public and pray, and make an act of worship to God so they could have praise, for themselves. They didn't go spend time with God and go talk to him alone. That's like a lot of these people, they're overwhelming when they start, oh, Jesus this, and start throwing up their hands and, and like doing that, like putting on a show. It's fake. They're doing it for, I won't say all of them are doing it, because some of them are they're just cuckoos, That's just how they worship Jesus, That's just how they're, they're speaking in tongues, that type of stuff, They're speaking in language that only God knows, Only they know. You won't ever know. It's just what's coming out of their heart. You get what I'm saying? It's fervent prayer. That's what you call it. But, those people that are going around, and it's just a show. It's just an act, which the evil one does that. The evil one wants you to do that, wants those people doing that to get people to stay away from Jesus, to not have a relationship with Jesus. So, it says, Jesus said, let her alone. She's, anticipating the day of my burial. So, it says, see how your king comes. This is the next chapter. It says, the next day, the huge crowd that arrived for the feast heard that Jesus was entering Jerusalem. They broke off palm branches and went out to meet him, and they cheered, Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in God's name. Yes, the King of Israel. It says, Jesus got a young donkey and rode it, just as the scripture has it. It says, no fear, daughter Zion. See how your king comes riding on a donkey's colt. What they're talking about is the Old Testament. All these books are these were written way before Jesus even came. The Messiah even came. It talked about, these are all the prophets that they put together. All these books, right, prophesied. They all match up and prophesied. And all these different things have come true, right? Not only did they happen, they've come true. That's why people were like, okay, all these books are written, where you put them together, right? That's what the Bible is. They're just a bunch of different books written by different people, testimony of what they've seen, what has happened, right? And it blows my mind that over the course of 400 years, pretty much, that this book has been slowly put together book by book by all the people that have been born of the Spirit. And it fascinates me that all this stuff lines up. Like, everything biblical, like, around the world, there's everything that they've ever tried to disprove in the Bible, they've never been able to disprove. Ever. It blows my mind. But it was just saying that the scriptures were fulfilled. You know, it says the disciples didn't notice the fulfillment of many scriptures at the time, but after Jesus was glorified, they remembered that what was written about him matched what was done to him. The crowd that had been with him when he called Lazarus from the tomb, raising him from the dead, was there giving eyewitness accounts. It was because they had spread the word of this latest God sign that the crowd swelled to a welcoming parade. The Pharisees took one look and threw up their hands. It's out of control. The world's in a stampede after him. This is this next chapter. A grain of wheat must die. It says, there were some Greeks in town who had come up to worship at the feast. They approached Philip, who was from Bethsaida in Galilee. Sir, we want to see Jesus. Can you help me? Philip went and told Andrew. Andrew and Philip together told Jesus. Jesus answered, time's up. Time has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. Listen carefully. Unless a grain of wheat is buried in the ground, dead to the world, it is never any more than a grain of wheat. But if it is buried, it sprouts and reproduces itself many times over. In the same way, anyone who loads onto life just as it is destroys that life. But if you let it go, reckless in your love, you'll have it forever, real and eternal. If any of you wants to serve me, then follow me. Then you'll be where I am, ready to serve at a moment's notice. The Father will honor and reward anyone who serves me. Right now I am storm-tossed, and what am I going to say? Father, get me out of this. No, this is why I come in the first place. I'll say, Father, put your glory on display. A voice came out of the sky. I have glorified it, and I'll glorify it again. The listening crowd said, thunder? Others said, an angel spoke to him. Jesus said, the voice didn't come for me, but for you. At this moment, the world is in crisis. Now Satan, the ruler of this world, will be thrown out, and I, as I am lifted up from the earth, will attract everyone to me and gather them around me. He put it this way to show how he was going to be put to death. Voices from the crowd answered, We heard from God's law that the Messiah lasts forever. How can it be necessary, as you put it, that the Son of Man be lifted up? Who is this Son of Man? Jesus said, For a brief time still, the light is among you. Walk by the light you have so darkness doesn't destroy you. If you walk in darkness, you don't know where you're going. As you have the light, believe in the light, then the light will be within you and the shining through your lives. You'll be children of light. And then it says, the eyes are blinded. Jesus said all this and then went into hiding. All these God signs he had given them, and they still didn't get it, still wouldn't trust him. This proved that the prophet Isaiah was right. Then it reads Isaiah's scriptures, which you can go back and read. It says, God who believed what we preach, who recognized God's arm outstretched and ready to act. First they wouldn't believe, then they couldn't again, just as Isaiah said. Their eyes are blinded, their hearts are hardened, so that they wouldn't see with their eyes and perceive with their hearts, and turn to me, God, so I could heal them. Isaiah said these things after he got a glimpse of God's cascading brightness that would pour through the Messiah. On the other hand, a considerable number from the ranks of the leaders did believe, But because of the Pharisees, they didn't come out in the open with it. They were afraid of getting kicked out of the meeting place. When push came to shove, they cared more for human approval than for God's glory. Jesus summed it all up when he cried out, "Whoever believes in me believes not just in me, but in the one who sent me. Whoever looks at me is looking, in fact, at the one who sent me. I am the light that has come into the world, so that all who believe in me won't have to stay any longer in the dark. If anyone who hears what I am saying and doesn't take it seriously, I don't reject him. I didn't come to reject the world. I came to save the world. But you need to know that whoever puts me off, refusing to take in what I am saying, is willfully choosing rejection. The word made flesh that I have spoken, and that I am, the word that no other is the last word. Wait, it says the word and no other is the last word. I'm not making any of this up on my own. The Father who sent me gave me orders, told me what to say and how to say it. And I know exactly what his command produces, real and eternal life. That's all I have to say. What the Father told me, I tell you." So this isn't, just so you know, this is like an interpretation of the scriptures. This isn't an exact scripture. This is called the remix, it's in modern slang, and contemporary English of what, the original scripture was saying in Greek, and in street spoken Greek, because that's what the Bible was written in the modern day spoken Greek, like street slang. It wasn't written in high class society, Greek, like all the other stuff was. That's also why I believe it too, because it came from the down and dirty. You get what I'm saying? It came from people from the mud, in a sense. Those are the people that speak the street slang, right? So it says, chapter 13, washing his disciples' feet. You gotta stop chewing this, honey. This is expensive. Alright. Chapter 13, washing his disciples' feet. Just before the Passover feast, Jesus knew that the time had come to leave this world to go to the Father. Having loved his dear companions, he continued to love them right to the end. It was supper time. The devil by now had Judas, son of Simon the Iscariot, firmly in his grip, all set for the betrayal. Jesus knew that the Father had put him in complete charge of everything, that he came from God and was on his way back to God. So he got up from the supper table, set aside his robe, and put on an apron. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the feet of his disciples, drying them with his apron. When he got to Simon Peter, Peter said, "Master, you wash my feet?" Jesus answered, "You don't understand now what I'm doing, but it will be clear enough to you later." Peter persisted, "You're not going to wash my feet ever." Jesus said, "If I don't wash you, you can't be part of what I'm doing." "Master," said Peter, "not only my feet then, wash my hands, wash my head." Jesus said, "If you had a bath in the morning, you only need your feet washed now, and you're clean from head to toe. My concern, you understand, is holiness, not hygiene. So now you're clean, but not every one of you." He knew who was betraying him. That's why he said, "Not every one of you." After he had finished washing their feet, he took his robe, put it back on, and went back to his place at the table. Then he said, "Do you understand what I have done to you? You address me as teacher and master, and rightly so. That is what I am. So if I, the master and teacher, washed your feet, you must now wash each other's feet. I have laid down a pattern for you. What I have done, you do. I'm only pointing out the obvious. A servant is not ranked above his master. An employee doesn't give orders to the employer. If you understand what I'm telling you, act like it and live a blessed life." So, my cat is going nuts. My cat wants attention. I'm gonna go give it attention. That's what's happening tonight. My cat needs it. It's not responsible for me to have a cat and it be a kitten and me not train it. So, plus I'm out of it. I don't know. Like, I'm just out of it, dude. We're not doing anything tonight. But chapter 13, man, that's why I say, right here at the bottom where Jesus just said, you know, I'm only pointing out the obvious. A servant is not ranked above his master. An employee doesn't give orders to the employer. If you understand what I'm telling you, act like it and live a blessed life. That's why I tell people, you know, exactly why I tell people, in order to be in front of someone, you must be behind them, right? Because if you're behind them and you help them, nine times out of 10 they help you. And if they help you, you're in front. Just like, you know, to be above somebody, you must be below them, right? Because if you're below them, you know, you serve them, you're on top. So, I'm gonna go hang out with my cat, man. Spend time with my cat. She's just staring at me, and I know what it is. She's teething and stuff like that, you know. She wants to lay down and stuff, and she is looking for, like, mother love, you know, father love. And if I don't go give it to her, me and her won't have a relationship. She's not going to listen to me. She's not going to do what it is I want her to do. So it's very important. I spend this time with her. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to upload this. I apologize for not having computer stuff. I'm not sure why I feel like this. I get like this sometimes. But I'm going to go. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.